welcome back to JD's class. Okay, now we'll be looking at ratios again. Last time we discussed basic examples on ratios, and we saw that for you to be able to solve basic word problem or any word problem, you need to be able to understand the question and bring out the information from the question. Today we'll be looking at a more serious example or examples. Now, one of them is this. Favor, Peter, and Christian agree to share the expenses for an evening outing in the ratio 2, ratio 3, ratio 4 respectively. Favor paid 203 naira for taxi. Peter paid 490 naira for food, and Christian paid 350 naira for cinema. How much should Favor and Christian pay Peter to settle their agreed share? So now, to solve this, we need to bring out the information as it is from the question. Now, remember that we have Favor, ratio Peter, ratio Christian. Okay, now the ratios they're about to share with is 2 ratio 3, ratio 4. Okay, now this is what they went and this is what they actually spent. 203 naira for Favor, and 490 for Peter, and 315 for Christian. So from the question, it's very obvious that Peter actually spent greater than what he was supposed to spend, since they say how much should Favor and Christian pay Peter to settle the agreed share. Because if they share according to the ratio, then there'll be nothing, nobody will be owing anybody. That's just about it. So okay, now let's look for that particular amount that Peter is being owed. Let's start for finding out the share of each, that is what each of them was supposed to spend based on the ratio. So now let's start with Favor. The sum of the ratios actually is sum of ratio is actually 9. Okay, so now for Favor, let's start with Favor here. I'll put this here. For Favor was actually supposed to spend based on the ratio 2, so we'll put 2 over 2 here over 9, and the sum of what they spent is actually equal to 1008. Okay, so now that will be multiplied by that. So here we'll be getting actually 2 over 9 times 1008. That will be, let me just get that immediately. Okay, that will be 224. Okay, so that is for Favor. So if you look at it, Favor was supposed to spend based on this ratio 224 naira, but he spent 203 naira. So you see why Peter is being owed. Okay, now let's go to Peter and let's see what happened to him. For Peter, his ratio is 3, so 3 over 9 times 1008. You know, this here is 3 and 3 here. That will give us 336. Yeah, for Peter. Yeah, so Peter actually was supposed to spend 336 naira, but if you look at it, he spent 490 naira. So from here we can actually find what he is being owed. But let's just still move on to Christian. For Christian, his ratio is 4, so that's all over 9 times 1008. So that will give us 448. Yeah. So now let's look at Christian's own. Christian's ratio, this is actually what he was supposed to spend, but he spent 315 naira, showing that he actually spent less than the amount they agreed on. So now let's look for how much Peter is being owed, and we're going to do that by finding the difference between what he was supposed to spend and what he actually spent. So for Peter, the difference between his expenses and what he was supposed to spend is 490 minus 336. So this actually is what he spent, and this is based on the ratio. So this will give us 154. So this amount here that we just got is the amount that Peter is being owed based on the ratio, because from the ratio he is supposed to spend less than what he actually spent. And from the information in the question, Favor and Christian actually spent less than what they were actually supposed to spend. So now let's find out what Favor owes Peter. So for Favor, let me put this up. Okay, so for Favor, we're going to remove what he actually spent from what he was supposed to spend. So we'll have 224 here minus 203, and we'll get 21. Yeah, so this is how much Favor owe Peter. Now let's get Christian. So for Christian spent less too, so we're going to remove that from what he was actually supposed to spend, which is 448 minus 315, and we get 134. Sorry, 133. Yeah, 133. So Favor will actually pay Peter back 21 naira, and put naira here, and naira here, and naira here. It's okay. So he will actually pay Peter 21 naira. Christian will pay 133 naira. So remember, the question is, how much should Favor and Christian pay Peter to settle their agreed share? And if you sum Favor's own with Christian's own, you get 154, which is this. Sorry, you didn't see that. Okay, so if you sum Favor's own with Christian's own, this and this, you get 154. So that is actually what they owe Peter. It's just as simple as that. Bring out the information, understand it, bring it out, solve it, you get your answer. Now then, let's go to the second one.